In the fields of Arles, under a sky of swirling stars,
a lonely artist painted beauty, madness, and pain, and Willem Dafoe brought him to life.
I'm Juan.
I'm Owen.
And this is Below the Spotlight. At Eternity's Gate isn't just a biopic. It's a mediation on art, isolation, and the cost of seeing the world differently.
And Dafoe at 63, playing Van Gogh at 37, blurs the line between actor and painter, man and myth.
He gives us fragility, genius, and the ache of a soul searching for meaning.
Not just a performance, almost a confession.
Let's step into the frame and study this portrait below the spotlight. Welcome everybody to Below the Spotlight. Here, your gracious host here. We have another episode. Owen, what do we have?
Episode 8. This was the very artistic At Eternity's Gate.
Eternity's Gate. First time seeing this movie. Here's a couple of facts about it. So this movie came out in March of 2019. The director of the film, also an artist, just to let y'all know, his name is Julian Schnabel. I hope I pronounced that right. Looks like the budget of the film is about 1.75 million. Box office worldwide made 11.5, domestic 2.3 million. So actually pretty good worldwide. Pretty much profit all over. We have a few co-stars here, important roles. We have, of course, the magnificent Willem Dafoe as Vincent Van Gogh. And at this time of the filming, Willem Dafoe is 62. I don't know if you guys caught that. 62 years old. We also have Rupert Friend as Theo Van Gogh, which is Van Gogh's brother. Oscar Isaac as Paul Gauguin. And I'm going to mispronounce this, but we have Mas Mikkelsen as the priest. And again, I'm going to mispronounce this, but we have Matthew Amalric as Dr. Paul Gauguin. Owen, what the hell is this movie about, brother?
Well, like you said, this movie centers around Willem Dafoe as Vincent Van Gogh. He travels to Arles and some other places in France to develop his artistic style and grapple with his mental health issues. This man he's melting. His brain is melting. You can see it throughout the whole film.
Yeah, and like, just to kind of give a little bit of context, I feel there's been other movies as well about Willem Dafoe. This one takes a very specific point of view of Van Gogh, which I actually found kind of pleasing. Normally the other ones they're more leaning towards his mental illness. This one focuses mainly on the art. So we're going to discuss a couple of scenes here. We'll probably just go through a few, point out some of the important ones, kind of give our take on that. And from that should help us do our evaluation on Willem Dafoe's performance on, a very credited artist.
Yeah. One of the best of all time.
The best. So starting off here with the intro scene. So movie opens up with Willem Van Gogh just walking along the farmland.
Some dirt path.
Dirt path.
He's got his paint gear like all in the suitcases and
his
bags.
Amazing freaking farmer's hat.
Yeah.
At this point of the movie, he's already kind of far off the grid in some way in his mind, but you can kind of get a taste of it. But he stumbles upon a woman with their sheep, and he tries to pretty much have her stand still to pretty much make a sketch of her, a painting. And then it reverts to how he got there.
The real kind of start in this film is him in a cafe where he like promises the cafe owner, he's like, oh yeah, I'll set up this art show in your cafe, maybe more people will come. But he only put up his own art, Van Gogh. So the owner got real mad. He's like, man, this art sucks. Like, you told me there's gonna be a bunch of artists over here and I was gonna get a bunch of customers, but then obviously it's just his art and everyone doesn't like it, so
yeah,
it tells him to leave.
That's where you kind of feel like, oh shit, like this man's really lonely. Nobody likes his art and stuff like that. Yeah, you kind of get a taste of how the art community is. It looks like it's very businessy. It's
Yeah,
not fun.
very businessy, and it's very like clicky almost. It's like
Yeah.
you're in or you're out, and he was out.
Moving on to this next scene. Pretty much, he's in Arles, south of France. Um, Later on in the movie, he gets settled in a house. He finds residency through one of his acquaintances within one of the bars, I believe.
Hmm.
And he's unpacking a new space, gets settled in. He puts his little pack down, his easels, his paintbrushes, on his other stuff. And this is where it gets very, very interesting. This was the pinnacle for me because I don't know how you feel. I don't know how you felt with this, but it disturbed me.
Hmm.
It made me frustrated, but I felt his how he sees the world. You kind of see Van Gogh kind of get into some type of like panicky state.
Yeah.
And I guess his coping was, just painting. So he takes off his boots and he starts painting his boots. And it's just a very intense film work. You have camera moving everywhere,
Hmm.
paint strokes.
Yeah, it's like feverish. It's like
Yeah.
he gets into this mode.
So it really impacted me, and I feel, and this is what I like about films that do this, because I just get a few. I get into the shoes of this man,
Hmm.
And according to Entertainment Weekly, Defoe immersed himself in the artist's life. He actually learned how to paint. He read a little bit of Van Gogh's letters to his brother. And yeah, so pretty much Defoe immersed himself into the lifestyle of Van Gogh. He read his letters, he learned how to paint, and they shot, actually in France in some of the locations where Van Gogh actually lived. So some of the landscapes were recognizable. So it kind of helped him uh, get into that role. But yeah, what was your feelings on the camera work?
Yeah, it made you immersed, like you said, put you in his shoes, because at that point it's like, okay, like, well, you just unpacked and you're just gonna start doing this. But that was his life. Like he kind of just gets into this mode of like paint. I just gotta paint, like that's
Yeah.
living and breathing and painting. That's what he does.
Yeah, and I know a little bit about Van Gogh's history. This movie makes it seem like it's like some type of strange habit,
Mm.
or not a habit, but more of a some intense. I can't think of the word, but like he needs to do it. He gets so anxious
Yeah.
and panicky.
Hmm.
Clearly, this was his coping, kind of like a drug addict in some way.
Hmm.
I don't know.
He's got to paint his next thing.
Yeah, so that scene was, I think, very important to me. Oh, and you can lead this next one here.
Yeah, this next one is a little bit more humorous. So he's like in the middle of some field or like forest or something, and he's painting away the nature vibes. And then this group of kids approaches him. And it's pretty funny. They run up to him like, like, what are you painting? Oh my, are you an artist? What? This is crazy. And then they're like, oh, you're painting roots? Like, what? That kind of sucks. What kind of a painter are you? And then I think one of them maybe touched his painting or something. He just freaks out. Like he just starts yelling at them, get away. It was,
I think they criticize his why is he painting roots?
yeah.
So
Like of all the things, like you're not painting a person or anything. You're painting like these roots from like a tree or something. But he like freaks out. I thought that was so funny.
yeah,
But that's like his, like you said before, like a drug addict. Like they touched his drugs, and that was it. Like
yeah, dude.
he freaked.
And then this next one, I think this one was very there's various scenes in the movie where this happens. Oh, and you can kind of like walk us through this a beautiful depiction of what Van Gogh sees.
Yeah, so I think there's this debate throughout the entire movie between Van Gogh and then this guy Paul, who's played by Oscar Isaac, who Paul he's more like refined, right? He's an artist of demure, of status almost.
Renaissance.
Yeah, very Renaissance Manny. And then he gets in this debate about painting styles. So Van Gogh likes to paint nature, like he just kind of gets in that fever state, like you mentioned before. And then Paul is like, hey, isn't that kind of just copying? But then Van Gogh is like, no, like you see more than just nature. Like I take it as it is, and then he puts it on the painting as something that only he can envision, I guess.
Yeah, I wish I can see. And he tried his best to portray what he actually sees. And there's been some debates about what he actually was diagnosed with, which I think one of them was like schizophrenia. And I've seen like in social media, I don't know if you've seen as well, where some people who have schizophrenia and they kind of give a showcase of their life and what they actually see. Some of them actually do drawings, and it does kind of appear a little squiggly like that, like how
like
the style, Van Gogh style. First, I want to say, Paul, what a dick. Because if he's painting portraits of people, that's also copying.
I know, yeah.
That
It's
doesn't
so
make sense.
hypocritical. That guy.
I was like, what the hell? Like, poor Van Gogh. Like, clearly Van Gogh's not good with social situations, which is fine, But still, he's trying to cope with this guy. Like, he's trying to be friends. Painter and painter.
Yeah. And they both connected. They're both like, oh, like, I don't like the mainstream painting,
Yeah.
meta, pretty much. And then Paul kind of, in being friends with Van Gogh, kind of like jests at him all the time in this way. It's like, man, what a jerk.
He's kind of has like that big brother attitude in some way.
Yeah, like there's a right or wrong way and his is right.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
This next one here, this one was actually, this goes a little bit more into Paul and Van Gogh's relationship. I think this is kind of like where it kind of takes off a little bit. So Vincent, is sitting down and he's staring at a yellow tree. Meanwhile, Paul is in another room drawing a lady, Madame. Van Gogh comes into the room where he's painting. He arrives with his paint sets and stuff, and he kind of has like the bright idea. It's a little another kind of like trance state in some way. Like, oh, let me show this fucker. Like, I can do this too. So he gets out his paint sets like all quick. And he starts, doing, painting the lady's face. And again, the lady doesn't really want to be painted Van Gogh. By this point of the movie, you kind of understand that he kind of has like a bad reputation with the city folk there. So she's like covering her face. Paul tells her to put her hand down because he's also painting as well. And, Paul's pretty much done. And she wants to leave like ASAP. Vincent is not done painting, but he's still painting by memory. And in the background, like over his shoulder, Paul is just like looking over his shoulder like, you're going too fast. Take your time. You're not applying the paint perfectly. And, Van Gogh is just line after line, blotches and blotches. And, because he's in this trance state, he kind of ignores him. But I feel like this leads towards his breaking point. Because at this point, Paul has agreed to like stay with him, and they become friends.
He's very lonely.
Lonely guy. So
Paul is his only friend, sadly.
At this point, yeah. And then, later along, they get pretty much annoyed with each other just because of their demeanors.
And yeah.
But yeah, Paul's a dick. Owen, take us to this next part here. This is pretty iconic.
This is a very iconic scene where Paul says he has to leave Arles, where they're both staying. And I don't know if he was telling the truth really at this point. I think he was like, oh yeah, I've been selling some art in Paris. I got to go to Paris, sell some more art.
I think he just wanted to get away.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to get away. He also said they can't live side by side anymore, so he kind of just hints at that. And then Vincent gets like upset and he's like running around. They were in a church or something, and he runs out of the church and he starts crying like he's like in that trance state again, but without painting. And he's just like wailing and like just super outside of his like depth, really.
I felt uncomfortable.
Yeah, like
And
he's like having this sort of tantrum almost.
yeah, it reminds me of, I don't want to say names, but it kind of feels like, um, I feel like he might have had some type of autism spectrum disorder.
Mm,
It seems that way because when something doesn't go
that the way
their
they,
way, they
yeah.
kind of get into a fit. But
Hmm.
you can see, but the only thing that kind of pulls me back from that theory is that Van Gogh tried to suppress it, but he couldn't.
Hmm.
You can kind of see that. Um,
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Where it's like something that's like too overwhelming for him. He just can't like handle it anymore. So that was a pretty good performance by Willem Dafoe. At that point, I really felt like, oh shoot, this guy's losing his mind right now. Um, and again, the editing of the movie is like all ooh, like the colors are all changing. Like the
yeah.
camera gets shaky, zooms in on him. Um, so that was pretty great work. Like that scene is probably for me. I know yours was different, but for me that was like the iconic scene. Like that's the one to remember.
And that's actually the birth of the
The
meme.
famous meme. What a great meme.
What a
The
great
meme
meme.
of Willem Dafoe looking up, like used in so many different contexts. It's great.
You know what, Owen? I think because we're talking about this movie and this is where the meme came from, not that many people know. I think we should go ahead and give it a try.
We're gonna do a quick cut and we're gonna show you our attempts at this.
All right, we're back. Did you guys like that? So this next scene has many interpretations, many theories. It's not really definitive what exactly happened, but the director did it this way. So once they had the little Discord, the argument that Paul was leaving, one of Vincent's tactics to keep him here was to cut off his ear and pretty much gifting it to him
Yeah.
in hopes of convincing him that he's going to stay. In the movie, the police brought him to the clinic. He has a discourse with the doctor, like, what the fuck is this? Kind of does like somewhat of an evaluation. And pretty much Defoe just says that he just wants to give hope to people through his paintings and make them feel alive. The quote is, "My vision is closer to the reality of the world," which kind of seems a little condescending because it's like, okay, you asshole, you're causing havoc in the city, just to kind of like give out your paintings, your vision, but you feel for the man, and he wanted to justify cutting his ear, that he wanted to cut some invisible being out of himself, and this is kind of like where he starts to speak the truth that he's seen visions and stuff like that.
Yes, but why? Because my vision is closer to the reality of the world. I can make people feel what it's like to be alive.
Do you feel like they don't feel alive?
Yes, I do.
And you think you can make them feel that through painting?
Yes. Yes.
Owen, what at this point of the movie, like, how are you seeing Van Gogh in this point of view?
He, to me, is kind of like just a kid, doesn't really know what's going on. He's just doing his thing, just trying to paint. Everything else around him kind of like either doesn't make sense to him or like he just doesn't fit, I guess, with like society and people. So it's kind of sad.
Yeah, and aside from the movie, it's just kind of like a fun fact. Apparently, the family of Van Gogh also it was just common that mental illness was part of their gene, I guess, gene pool. So many of them did passed away because of their mental illness as well. I think he was one of 6 siblings.
Wow.
Yeah,
And they only showed the one.
they only showed the one. This one, I like his brother. He was Theo. He
He's a
was
good
very
guy.
cool.
He always showed up
Hmm.
whenever Van Gogh got into some.
How did
Or
you
I guess-
feel when he was in the hospital and he kind of like,
Oh yeah, they were in the hospital, and then he was laying in the bed, or Vincent was laying in the bed, and then Theo comes up. And he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he gets in bed with him and kind of like hugs him and stuff. I was like, "Oh, that's
that's
kind of cute." I mean,
cute.
that's kind of like a little brotherly.
Would you ever do that if with a brother? Like,
Maybe. I mean, if he's like Vincent Van Gogh, then maybe, because Vincent's like he's kind of like a kid. I feel like so. I think you would do that with a kid. You kind of like try to comfort them, be next to them, and whatnot. And at this point, you can't really trust what he says because nothing in Van Gogh or Vincent Van Gogh's mind kind of makes sense or anything. So even we'll kind of get into it later, but like at this point where he's talking to the clinician after he cuts off his ear, it's like, do you really trust what he says? Like, did he actually just cut his ear off and try to give it to the lady? Because we'll allude to the final scene where like we'll talk about it later, but what he says isn't actually like what happened in the movie. So I don't quite like. I kind of do feel like the theory of Paul kind of cutting off his ear makes sense. They
yeah,
didn't really show it in the movie, but I could see how that could happen. And Van Gogh can just say something else.
yeah. So at this point, speaking with the clinician, it just escalates a little bit more further, and at this point, he pretty much gets like admitted, or I don't. Does he voluntarily get admitted?
Yeah, the clinician was like, "Hey, you should go to this asylum. Like, it's completely voluntary."
Oh, right, yeah.
So he goes to the asylum to like get help with his mental state.
Yeah, take us through that, bro, because this one was packed to the brim.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes in there. Like, there was a scene where like they're in a bathtub and they're getting water poured on them.
What the
I
hell
think
is
that's
that?
that's something that they used to do. I think to like
Is that treatment or is that like
where
torture?
they're like if you're an alcoholic, you want to stop drinking alcohol. They're like, if you think about alcohol, I'm gonna pour this bucket of cold water on you. So I think that's kind of like what it was.
Yeah.
Like more treatments, like that makes no sense whatsoever, really.
Yeah, it was just like a weird conversation with like a gangster or like a war veteran.
Oh yeah, with a veteran, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
So
that was a little weird.
it was, but he was kind of like vibing with him. I feel like.
Right.
But anyway, in this asylum, like he does get or attempts to get some help. He actually kind of gets out and causes more mayhem with the town, and they're like, get him out of here. Like, we don't want Van Gogh anywhere near us. So then he figures like, or I guess the people at the asylum figure like he's not getting any better. So then he speaks with the priest, who's Mads Mikkelsen. And the priest is, I guess, the one that's like, if you're good to go, I'll let you leave. But if you're not, then I'll keep you here. Like he's that last guy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel angry sometimes?
Yes.
And what do you do then?
I go out, look at a blade of grass or a branch of a fig tree in order to calm down.
They had a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, very interesting, because Van Gogh is like, I'm being persecuted, like I'm Jesus Christ, like I'm just trying to bring my gifts of seeing the world and its beauty, but then you people like don't want to see it. Not saying it exactly like that, but that's kind of how I interpreted it.
Kind of like a god complex in some
Yeah,
way.
almost like a god complex, which again is kind of like a schizophrenia type of thing.
Yeah.
Or bipolar thing as well. But the priest, I thought it was kind of funny where the priest is like questioning his painting ability. He's like, okay, so what did God put you on earth for? And Van Gogh's like, oh, painting. He's like, but have you seen your painting? This thing kind of sucks. Like, wouldn't that be terrible if God put you on earth to paint and you can't paint?
Right.
So I thought that was so funny when they're talking like that.
Fun fact about this: while he was in this asylum, this is where he actually painted Starry Night. I think he just happened to look out the window, and that's where that painting came out to be from him being in the asylum. So it's pretty cool. And again, this was a painting that he didn't even like. He just kind of like left it off on the side, but now it's like fucking.
I know, that's like his iconic
one. After that, after he gets released from the asylum, Van Gogh goes back to visit his brother and his family. I think it's in a different part of France as well.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah.
more upland. You know, his brother is somewhat of a businessman selling art. And Van Gogh at this point had been sending his brother like piece at
All of his paintings.
all
yeah,
of his
or
paintings.
most, yeah.
Unfortunately, none of it had been sold. You know, kind of Vincent kind of gets a sense of like in a crisis mode. You know, he starts to self-doubt that maybe his painting is not actually good. And then this leads on to pretty much him seeking more treatment. So I think it was his brother. Oh, no. Was it his brother or the clinician there that recommended him to see this doctor or to be with this doctor? Do you remember?
The brother.
It was the
The
brother.
brother kind of set it up where he's like, oh, like, I know this guy. You'd be a good person to stay with.
Yeah.
So he kind of sent him out. It was like this random doctor. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, he takes with his doctor. I think he's like some type of like mental health provider or
Yeah, I
something.
think so. I think, yeah, he was like treating him while being his friend.
Yeah, being his friend. Yeah, and in the scene, they just pretty much he's just painting the doctor. They're having fun. You can kind of see Willem Dafoe is kind of relaxed again in a trance. He's telling them stop smiling, meditate,
Oh,
like
yeah,
meditation.
They're kind of like being like very friendly towards each other. Like, oh, like, you know, stop it. You know, like.
This next part, Owen, take us through it because it's very sad.
So this is pretty much the last, last sequence in the movie. So Van Gogh is, I guess, painting somewhere random. And he's approached by two men, and one of them has a gun. I guess they're trying to like rob him. So they end up shooting him, and then steal his paintings and all of that, and destroy all the evidence and whatnot of him being shot.
Yeah.
Vincent just walks back through town. Like he's walking with a gunshot through his belly, and everyone's like looking at him like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So he makes it back to the doctor, and the doctor's like, what happened? You know, like, did you shoot yourself? Like, where'd you get a gun? But really, he got shot, and he totally forgot what happened. Like, he didn't even say like, oh, like I got shot by two kids. It's just like, I don't know. I
That
feel pain in my
sucks.
stomach. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that was it. Like, that was so sad.
Yeah, you just kind of feel scared, like just to forget, but you have this pain and you're just walking out.
I know, like, you're like, I don't know where to go, like, except, I guess, back to my friend. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and pretty much, you know, they do get him, they treat him, but unfortunately, I think he was just too far gone with his illness, with his wounds. That unfortunately he passed away. In real life, there's theories if he actually committed suicide, if he was actually killed, but we won't go into that because this is not the take of this director. So we'll leave that for you guys to explore about how Van Gogh actually, you know, passed. And pretty much with this, it ends with his funeral. You know, he's put in a coffin, his family's there, his paintings are all kind of like spread out. And, you know, that's kind of like where people are like, ooh, this is very good. Very
Yeah,
good
this is where
painting.
they kind of start recognizing, like, okay, like, this guy has some talent.
Which sucks because it's like
because he's dead.
he made it to the finish line, but he's not alive.
Uh-huh.
And you just feel bad. And
Yeah, his life's work.
yeah, man. But it's a beautiful display. Everybody's there, you know, the brother. And yeah, that's pretty much where like the movie kind of concludes there. Shout out to this wasn't shown in the movie, but shout out to Theo's wife. She was responsible of making Van Gogh's paintings popular. She was the main reason why it's out here today, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I think she had wrote some articles. She tried to promote it everywhere for people to see. So that's also pretty cool. You know, without his sister-in-law, we probably wouldn't have had Van Gogh stuff. Do you like the style of how it was filmed?
Yeah, I think it was very personal. Like, you try to get the audience to see it from Van Gogh's eyes, and I feel like the director did a really good job with that. I liked it. I always like it when directors do things that are kind of out of the ordinary, but they do it pretty well, and like you can see what they're trying to do. So I think he did a good job.
So yeah, we think this is a very artistic take of it. You would probably say that as well,
Yeah,
right?
very artistic take.
Yeah.
Into his madness, really, like his trance state of painting.
Yeah. So I have a question here. So we've kind of been through a good series of movies already. So this one, the director, very artistic take. Hand cameras were used for the shaky effect and still scenes, color grading and stuff. How would you compare this artistic take versus Antichrist artistic take? They're both different, but same field in some way.
I feel like this one was artistic in a more clearly purposeful way, where it's like, okay, he's doing this because Van Gogh's going crazy, and he wants you to feel like how Van Gogh's feeling. But Antichrist is kind of just like, I kind of want to just do stuff that is crazy, and I want you to remember it for it being crazy. And that to me is like why he did what he did in Antichrist, why the director did what he did.
Interesting. 'Cause
Yeah.
I felt the opposite. I feel like both movies kind of take you through that route to the point of your breaking point,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I see that.
Although it was just very different, Antichrist was very black and gray, the grayscale, and then this one's more colorful, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Diving into their mental instability and to the breaking point.
That's fair. Like, I guess Antichrist didn't equate like the black and white with like the mental state, or like some of the other stuff with like how they're doing
Sound
mentally.
as well. This one,
Yeah.
hardly any sound.
Yeah, like they cut off the music
Yeah.
for a lot of the things, and it was just focused on him, like close up on him, close up on his paintings, shaky camera.
Yeah, you just see fields, him running,
Yeah.
putting dirt on his face.
Colors just going crazy in the sky. and
Apparently, he only
everything.
showered once a week.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Like not even once a week too. Sometimes I feel like.
Oh,
They're
man.
like, yeah, it wouldn't hurt in the beginning of the movie. Like, yeah, it wouldn't hurt if you took a shower sometimes, Vincent.
Any final thoughts here, Owen, about the film before we get into some reviews and stuff? Any final takes?
Final takes. I feel like. Actually, no. This kind of gets into like more reviewing the movie and reviewing his performance. So I think we could jump into that.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, go ahead, take it off, man. I kind of want to hear what you
Okay.
have
So I give this movie
off the whim here.
6.
A 6
spotlights out of 10.
Interesting.
It's a little lower. It's almost. I mean, it's a D.
A D. You know what?
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I call it a 6 as well.
Yeah.
I had that as well, and I'm kind of curious if we have the same thing. So, again, Willem Dafoe is great. He was able to capture the essence of Van Gogh, not by just what the history already has of him, but more of a personal way, like how you mentioned, through his letters, kind of visualize the painting, and also the setting also was a big help of that. And of course, we've discussed this before, Willem Dafoe likes to not be fully equipped with material, or else he starts to get a little self-conscious and lost within the role. He likes to build the role as he's in there. So I think that was very unique, but it did not move me like previous other movies. I wanted more mental instability. Is that crazy for me to say?
I mean, I kind of feel the same way. So that kind of brings me to my reasoning is that I think the substance of Vincent Van Gogh in his story isn't as like movie worthy. I don't know if that's the hot take or not, but like it's just the story of like a mentally ill person painting, and he's one of the greatest painters of all time. But like his story is not like like riveting or anything. It's sad and it's I guess
Right. There's
not like a roller coaster like of like, oh whoa, and then like, oh god, and then like how some stories can be with like the climax and everything.
interesting.
This one is kind of like, okay, I mean, yeah, that was like accurate, I guess, and like it made sense, but at the same time, it's like as an overall historical figure, he's not as interesting. Like it's a good peer into mental illness, but
Yeah.
that's kind of it.
Yeah, this is why I kind of like related it to Antichrist. Antichrist was more, that one did impact you. I wish
Yeah.
Antichrist. I wish Eternity's Gate had some elements from Antichrist. That way, I feel a little like, oh, what the fuck? Even if it's a little too obnoxious, I guess I would say. But I think that the director, wanted to keep it, minimal. I guess I'm not really too quite sure.
He wanted to put it as close to the story as possible, but also he threw in the little twist at the end where it's like, oh, did he get killed or is it suicide? But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like the substance of Van Gogh's like life story isn't as like riveting as most other stories.
Personal project, it seems like a
it was a great art. The movie is great art and it's a good homage to him, but at the end of the day, it's not the roller coaster you want it to be.
6 spotlights out of 10. Let us know in the comments what you think about this movie. We also have some public ratings here. Owen, start us off with the IMDb.
IMDb overall gives this film a 6.9 out of 10, so it's almost a full point above what we give it. Now, we have an example review of a 6 out of 10. This is by R. Murray 847. Thank you for your contribution.
Yes.
They say excellent lead performance, but can try the patience of the viewer.
That's a good take.
Which is very, I think there's some points in the movie where I was like, this is a long movie. Like, when is it gonna end? When is it gonna die? But yeah, it was a long one.
Going into the tomato meter, we have 79% from the critics, and so it's pretty much kind of like in our realm.
Yeah,
like 7, 6, and then popcorn meter is 66%. We have a few examples here. I'll start us off with this one by Ian Freer. He rated this movie actually 4 out of 5. He said it's vibrant and intoxicating. At Eternity's Gate is a terrific study of both an artist at work and the fragile nature of genius. And Willem Dafoe gives one of the performances of his career, inhabiting and illuminating a complex, crumbling soul. I think he's going way too much on this. I did not see this.
He's being extra. Like,
I don't agree with you, Ian Freer.
Yeah, you try to put a little bit of cherry on top.
But it's fine. That's how he saw it. That's cool.
Yeah. I agree. Like, artistic wise, this movie is great.
Great.
It's just, like we said before.
Yeah, so mixed reviews. Some people like it. Some people, majority of them is just our same rating, like with that D range.
Yeah, and I agree with what they say for the most part.
I agree too. But let's get into his performance. So, Owen, I think I'm going to rate Willem Dafoe. I'm going to be generous here. I'm going to be a little nice. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 spotlights for his performance. Again, I wanted more, either more psychoness, more facial expressions, more of his acrobatic. He's very good with acrobats. But of course, limiting himself to Van Gogh and just being a gentle soul, but also miserable, did not quite cut it for me.
Yeah, I agree for the most part. Maybe a little bit less so, because I understand the constraints of the role. So I give him an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. A little bit friendlier. I think he did a good job for the most part. Like, I can kind of see the madness growing in him and the suffering.
Yeah. The one thing I really liked about the performance was he actually learned how to paint, which is actually pretty cool. He painted the boots.
Yeah.
I think he took 4 takes, and then last one is just so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's not, there's nothing too specific that I found in the movie that was very iconic, other than the meme. The meme was great. That one was just camera work and his facial expressions that he can do.
But also, like, underrated meme was when he had his ear cut off and he was talking to the clinician. Just his face, like when that portrait of him, just without an ear and his little hat. That was pretty great too. Underrated meme.
Yeah, and funny thing, he has not had any comments or any discourse about that meme. Isn't that interesting? I feel like it's a very
meme? About the meme where you look
nobody has asked them that in an interview, or there's no mention of it.
Oh man, well, I know I saw somewhere where someone mentioned like, oh, like you're a lot of memes, and he's kind of like, oh yeah, like I know the internet does what it does. Like he kind of just brushed it off.
Willem Dafoe, if we ever get to interview you, can we ask you what your thoughts are about that meme? It's so iconic.
About every meme.
I think that pretty much sums it up for this movie. Dafoe did earn an Academy Award, or he was nominated
Nomination, yeah.
in 2018,
Academy Award and Golden Globe nominations for Best Actor.
but he lost.
They lost to Rami Malek.
Yeah, damn it.
Freddie Mercury. That was, I guess, a good film.
Mm-hmm. Owen, what do we have next week?
Next week we have the 2019 film The Lighthouse.
Ooh, I've seen this
Spooky,
movie before.
Spooky. I've seen like half of it, I think,
Half of it?
because I think I took a nap.
I think this one also has a meme. I have to double check.
Oh yes.
I think it does.
Yeah,
There's one
I
meme
think
in
it
there.
does.
But I've seen this movie once. Amazing actors. I think it's
Yep.
just two.
Robert Pattinson and Willem
Willem
Dafoe.
Dafoe. First time
Also,
ever.
I think there's some
Other-
viewer discretion advised of
Oh, yes.
nudity. So if you're gonna watch along, be ready to discuss next week.
Yes, sir. I'm excited for this one. This will be my second watch of The Lighthouse. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you have your popcorn, your beverages, and your blankets while watching The Lighthouse. As always, please drop a rating, comment, let us know if we have good takes, bad takes about At Eternity's Gate. Let us know what you feel about the
pretty
film.
hot takes today.
Yeah. Very good hot takes. And as always, you'll see us on Spotify, Below the Spotlight, and YouTube.com. Please give us a like, subscribe, rate, tell your friends. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye bye.
Later.